Good morning, everybody. Oops, gets me every time. It is now 12 o'clock, noon. It may be morning someplace, but right now it is noon in Memphis. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining me. The lighting is pretty bad on this show today because we're getting some glorious rain. We are getting rain that's going to put us in a position to experience the end of the summer, the beginning of fall. Can you believe it? We're still having weather that's in the 80s. I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining because it has been nice going outside, standing at the poles without having to be in a coat or heavy gloves, hats, things of that nature. Yes, I'm wearing my hat. This is my campaign hat. I'm known for this hat, Charlotte Bergman for Congress, and it's amazing when I go to places and they're expecting this to be a MAGA hat. This is a Charlotte Bergman hat. Um, we got some comments already. Yes, it is finally raining. Cindy, Noni, hey, how are you? Lindell, Linnell, hi, how are you? Sorry for mispronouncing your name. Let's get this show started. Let me tell you some of the major things we're going to talk about, though, when we come back. We're going to talk about a Georgia rally and Democrats' worst fears that is happening in Georgia. We're going to also talk about the Tennessee voting results. And then we're going to go to the national polls, discuss those briefly. And everybody's been sending me this video, so I felt I needed to add it to the show. Albert Guillory out of Louisiana and why he left the Democrat Party. Guys, let's get into the show and let's find out. Let's come back and let's have some serious discussions. Do me a favor while we are presenting our introduction, leave me some messages and letting me know where are you from. I'd love to know where you are tuning in from. We'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I love doing this show. Why? Because I get a chance to interact with you guys, and you guys make my day. You're some of the smartest people I know, and I have to stay on top of it. Noni, living the life. Yes, you are. More than you realize, I know. Guys, thanks for joining Political Talk with Charlotte this week. I appreciate you and you inspire me. We air our show every Thursday at noon. And in order to follow the show, if you can't catch it live, you can, first of all, send me an email at charlotte@bergmanforcongress.com. You can also catch the show, as many of you are doing it, on Facebook at my personal page, my profile page was the charlotte.bergman.9. That's pretty apropos, 9 for the 9th Congressional District. My fan page is Elect Bergman. I need people to elect me for Congress. Bitchute, we're at Political Talk with Charlotte. On Twitter, we're at Elect Bergman. On Rumble, we're at Elect Bergman Live. YouTube, Bergman for Congress, and Twitch, my name, Charlotte Bergman. Leave a message, a comment, and or subscribe to my channel on YouTube and Rumble. Why? This helps us to grow and this helps us to get our message out to so many people. I have a friend in Millington, Tennessee, and he is controversial, but what he does, he asks people, have I told you lately that I love you? I'm asking you, have I told you lately that I love you? If I haven't, I'm telling you now, I love you. I appreciate you. You help inspire me, and I really appreciate your support. but I'm asking that you come in and share my video so that we can grow, and so that the censorship that is applied by Facebook, by YouTube, and various other social media um, sites, that can be bypassed. Okay? I want to remind you of my book, The Last Trumpet in the Battle for America. I must say so myself. It tells you a lot about me and my upbringing. It also talks about what I feel is going to happen or has happened in America. We've got to make America great, because this is the last bastion of, of strength, power, prosperity. And that's what we want for ourselves and our children. We have t-shirts that you can purchase, hats. Early voting is going on today in Memphis. This is the absolute last day of early voting. And before I go any further, I have the best team in the whole wide world who inspire me, who comes up with creative ideals and get me out in the public. And I tell you, I need that, and I love it. I love it. I love it. Thank you. Thank you, team. Now, as I said earlier, we're going to talk about the Georgia rally. Bobby, let's make that happen. Let's make it happen. We're going to talk about the Georgia rally, and you won't see this on mainstream media. Nobody wants you to see this. Nobody wants you to believe that you're not by yourself, that they want you to believe that you are the only people who actually have these strong feelings. And people underestimate Memphis. People underestimate the majority of the people in Memphis. Why? Because our media and media types want the emphasis to be upon crime and murder, and that's bad and that is wrong. But during this campaigning, I look at people, I see the love, I see the fact that they want the same things that I want. They want the same things that people in Germantown and Collierville and Bartlett and various places have. They want to be able to raise their children in peace. They want to be able to send their children to a school that's going to teach them the reading, writing, and arithmetic, and not Bobby and John and Joe and Jim and Sue and Sally are married. They don't want that for their children. If the children choose to take on that lifestyle later, that's up to the children. But when they're children, let them be children. Let them be children. So anyway, I'm going to present to you a little bit of this video that I have. And this video was created by a couple of guys who went and spoke with a number of people in Georgia. And many of my fellow team members knows that we've got a person in Georgia who is going to help us, Judge Joe Brown. That's right, the Judge Joe Brown. So the Georgia rally is being recorded, and two people are responsible for this video, Vince Dale and James Klug. And they are going to interview some people, and Kamala is not going to hear this. She is not going to hear this. So let's get into it. Let's get started. Let me show this. Now, this interview is going on, and I want you to hear some of the feedback that these people are wanting the world to know about.
We got a guy that's running. He ain't forced to do this. He don't have to do this. You don't get 3 attempts on your life and continue to do this.
Where's all of our racists, you know? Where is it all?
Black, white, Asian, it don't even matter. It's man, the United Nations out here, man. There's people from all over the world out here supporting Donald Trump.
I'm voting Donald Trump, baby.
Baby.
What's going on, everyone? James Klug here. Today, Vince Dow and I are in Duluth, Georgia at a Trump rally to talk to voters in this crucial swing state. Vince, are you ready to get going?
Absolutely, let's do it. Love to be in Georgia, home of the Georgia peaches, but in this case, we're seeing a Georgia orange. So there you go.
That's absolutely right. Let's go talk to some people. Huge shout out to our friends over at Riser United for sponsoring this video. Are you a local?
Yeah, I'm local.
Okay, so we're local. We're in Georgia. This is obviously a crucial swing state. Who's taking Georgia? Kamala Harris or Donald Trump?
Donald Trump. We're going to paint Georgia red. Matter of fact, we're going to paint it burgundy. It ain't going to be red, it's going to be burgundy. Because it's going to be too big to rig.
That's crazy.
3D printed.
How long did this take to make?
About 3 weeks.
Look at all these people out here, man. All these people out here supporting Donald Trump, man.
I'm voting Donald Trump, baby.
Let's go.
Everyone is waking up. All my friend group, there's a solid 90% who are really awake now.
He doesn't care what color you are. He's for humans, Americans. And we're here to fight for America, because if we lose America, we lose the world.
Black, white, Asian, it don't even matter. It's man, the United Nations out here, man. There's people from all over the world out here supporting Donald Trump.
You are obviously a young man for Trump.
Yes.
And a lot of the polls are starting to show that especially young men of all colors, by the way, leaning more towards Trump in the election. On the ground, as I presume you're a student or in this generation, what are you seeing? Are you seeing that sort of mass awakening or disaffectedness with the Democrats?
I mean, you look like 4 years ago, right? It was way different. You know, everyone's talking about what are you going to do economically? What are you going to do, to fix this issue, this issue, issue. It's starting to get to a point now where it's life or death almost for this country.
Check this out. I'm going to show you how I afforded this card. Okay, you ready?
A lot of crazy stuff going on in this world. I got two little kids. I got a 2-year-old and I got a 5-year-old. And I am really, really worried about this world.
Look at everything. It's crap.
What the Democrats are doing is not right.
I'm for protecting the border. Like if you have your own house, you lock the doors on it, right?
Well, we've been immigrants from India.
Yeah.
We support Trump for all the values. Free market economy, low taxes, strong defense, all the Republican values.
I love his policies about stuff like the closing the borders, keeping the illegal immigrants out, illegal immigration.
Getting that under control?
Yeah, I mean, because they're coming in here and they can commit crimes.
I work in the service industry as well, so no tax on tips is beautiful for me. I mean, definitely incentivized, it goes to my pocket.
Second Amendment, I want to make sure that's completely protected. The ATF is trying to make laws that shouldn't they shouldn't be allowed to be making all the laws and stuff that they're doing.
It's getting to a point where it's not how are you going to fix this economic reason, it's are you going to fight corruption? Who's going to stand up against it?
The soul of the country.
Yeah, so you look at all these, the Democrats who are now going Republican, obviously there's a lot of the Republican Party that's still just corrupt. You'll see that everywhere, but there's a lot of people really waking up because it's not right against left. It is not right against left at all. It's truth against real serious corruption.
What do you notice that's different about the energy maybe 4 years ago compared to now?
I mean, a lot of people was confused. You had the mainstream media coming up with this different propaganda saying that Trump is a racist and he support neo-Nazis.
We had him in office in 2016. Sure. So when you compare 2016 to 2020 and compare what we have now, big difference. So we have a comparison. So it's easy to make the choice. It's a clear choice. We're watching one party try to really deceive us, lie to us, control the legacy media, and promote propaganda.
It's starting to get to the point, the propaganda that we're seeing, the things that we're being told, this is stuff that you see that they would teach you in history that would happen in other countries. Countries where it was some of the craziest things in the world. But people don't realize this is happening center. This is happening right here, right now.
Well, you guys, with our country becoming more and more polarized and brands pushing an anti-American agenda.
Okay, guys. We've got people that are running. Hi, Bob from Chattanooga. Woo-hoo. Thank you. We've got to realize that if you notice the people that were being interviewed, was there one time that they called Kamala Harris a name? Did they say that she's garbage or Joe Biden is garbage? No, these are not things that are important to them. These things are the things that are important to these people are the economy, a secure border, being able to afford to live, to entertain their children, to be successful in life. We're not going to get that from the other party. But more importantly, what we're not going to get from the other party is truth. I have observed that, and I try to listen very attentively to the other party. And maybe it's because I do my homework and do my research, and I just know a little bit more I can't stand listening to them because I can't stand the lies. So anyway, if you want to hear the rest of that video, just do a search on Georgia rally Democrats' worst fears with Vince Dale and James Klug. Now we're going to get to the Tennessee voting results. Normally I would be out at the polls, but I needed to do this show inside because it's raining too badly to be out at the polls. But I've met so many wonderful people. I was standing at the polls yesterday and I was holding my dear sign up, and this young lady comes out, and I never would have thought she would have voted for me because I would have been under the assumption that she was Democrat. And she comes out and she sees my sign. She said, I voted for her. And then she looked up at my face. She said, oh, that's you. And I just hugged her. It was just so nice to see somebody who were honest, who were candid, who are looking for change, who are tired of going to the stores and coming out broke. So anyway, I wanted to share with you guys, what's happening in the great state of Tennessee. We've had a number of votes in Tennessee. Actually, we've had 2 million voters, 2,037,444 voters to vote as of yesterday in Tennessee. But guess what, guys? That includes early voting. That includes people going to the polls. That explains the long lines. That also includes absentee votes. There have been a total of 78,537 of those. And on the first day, I guarantee you guys, 40,000 absentee votes were submitted throughout the state. And I know that was a strategy that was implemented. And since then, you've had throughout the whole state now, not just in different counties, you've had like 4,000, 2,000, 1,000, 3,000. But on the first day, to try to manipulate the results, I believe that a group had got together and submitted 40,000 absentee votes. And the fact that you guys had decided to go and vote early, I think that is diluting that number quite a bit. And so that's like helping with an election integrity, because I can almost guarantee you, if we had somebody to go and look at those ballots that were submitted, they may find some discrepancies. But I want to get down to Shelby County. Shelby County, how many votes have come in to Shelby County as of yesterday? Oh, before I leave that, I mentioned that there were 2 million votes that had come in to the great state of Tennessee. But guess what, guys? That 2 million votes is nothing compared to the fact that we've got over 6 million people in this country. So where are you all? Why are you not voting? Are you waiting for election day? Are you waiting for this last day to vote, thinking the lines will be shorter? I don't care what your excuse is. I want to encourage you to get off the couch and go out and vote. I mean, only 2 million people out of 6 million, there is a problem there. There is a problem there. You gotta care, and especially you Christian people and you people that tote guns and people that care, you need to get out and vote. So I'm getting down to Shelby County. There are almost 1 million people. Yeah, I think there are almost 1 million people who can vote in Shelby County. I'd say there are about 500,000 who are registered throughout all of Shelby County, not just the 9th district. Both counties together, both districts together, that have only been a total of 235,451 people to go out and vote. And that's as of yesterday, October the 30th. So that is not good, guys. I'm kind of getting disappointed. I don't want you all to think that you can piggyback off the backs of other people that go out and vote and get results. You go out and you make your voices known. Now, Tipton County is in the 9th district, and I'd say they were doing relatively well in terms of turnout. In terms of turnout, out of a county that probably including Republicans and Democrats, including the 8th and 9th district, it's not that many people who will vote. Even just in the 9th district, there are probably just about 14 or 15,000 as of yet in the whole county of Tipton County. Out of all of the areas in Tipton County, there have been 18,665 people to vote. I need you guys to get out and vote. We cannot play. We cannot play, and you cannot blame anybody else for the results of this election if you don't get out and vote. Now, I want to cover Real Clear Politics and their average. And I won't bring this up on the screen. You just got to bear with me and remember. The national average, surprisingly, surprise, Donald J. Trump is leading. Not by very much, mind you, but he's leading. He's up 0.5% nationally. And that's pretty big for a Republican. That's pretty big. Donald Trump is leading 48.5% versus Harris's 48% nationally. Now, in the top battleground states, Trump is leading by 1 solid point. He's leading by 1%. That is huge. Now we get down to the Electoral College, and I believe some Democrats have been playing with this Electoral College. They're saying that there are some toss-up states that had not been for Kamala Harris are now beginning to vote for Kamala. They're saying, which is still good. It's still good. Don't get discouraged, because in order to win, to be the president of the United States of America, a candidate has to get 270 electoral college votes. At this point, Trump and Vance have 287, so that's more than they need to win. Harris Walls, they're at 251. What is in play is Michigan. The people who have submitted their polls are saying Michigan will go to Harris. I don't believe that, and don't you believe it either. Minnesota, I don't know. Wisconsin, not quite sure, but I know that we still will be able to come out winning Michigan, which will put President Trump over the 300 electoral votes category. So rest assured, God is sending President Trump back to Washington, D.C., because we got to make this country great. And before I go any further, I'm going to share with you guys this video that I have received from a number of people. It is a video of Albert Gilbert. I think I clobbered his name, so I got to go back and look at my notes. Albert Guillory. I had a former brother-in-law whose name was Guillory. So anyway, what I want to do is share this screen with you. And I want to set this up because I think that you're going to enjoy listening to him. He has, in the past, declared himself as a Republican, and he's coming out now, making it a point that you guys understand. Okay, that you guys understand that he is indeed a Republican. Let me get this straight. It looks like my screen is, it looks like I have too many screens open. Let me see if I can get this started so you can hear from the beginning what he has said. And his words are very, very profound. He is somebody that I'm proud of.
Recently, I made what many are referring to as a bold decision to switch my party affiliation to the Republican Party. I wanted to take a moment to explain why I chose to become a Republican, and also to explain why I don't think it was a bold decision at all. It is the right decision, not only for me, but for all my brothers and sisters in the black community. You see, in recent history, the Democrat Party has created the illusion that their agenda and their policies are what's best for black people. Somehow it's been forgotten that the Republican Party was founded in 1854 as an abolitionist movement with one simple creed, that slavery is a violation of the rights of man. Frederick Douglass called Republicans the party of freedom and progress, and the first Republican president was Abraham Lincoln, the author of the Emancipation Proclamation. It was Republicans in Congress who authored the 13th, 14th, and 15th Amendments, giving former slaves citizenship, voting rights, and due process of law. The Democrats, on the other hand, were the party of Jim Crow. It was Democrats who defended the rights of slave owners. It was the Republican President Dwight Eisenhower who championed the Civil Rights Act of 1957. But it was the Democrats in the Senate who filibustered the bill. You see, at the heart of liberalism is the idea that only a great and powerful big government can be the benefactor of social justice for all Americans. But the left is only concerned with one thing: control. And they disguise this control as charity. Programs such as welfare, food stamps, these programs aren't designed to lift black Americans out of poverty. They were always intended as a mechanism for politicians to control the black community. The idea that blacks, or anyone for that matter, need the government to get ahead in life is despicable. And even more important, this idea is a failure. Our communities are just as poor as they have always been. Our schools continue to fail children. Our prisons are filled with young black men who should be at home, being fathers. Our self-initiative and our self-reliance have been sacrificed in exchange for allegiance to our overseers, who control us by making us dependent on them. Sometimes I wonder if the word freedom is tossed around so frequently in our society that it has become a cliche. The idea of freedom is complex and it's all-encompassing. It's the idea that the economy must remain free of government persuasion. It's the idea that the press must operate without government intrusion. And it's the idea that the emails and phone records of Americans should remain free from government search and seizure. It's the idea that parents must be the decision makers in regards to their children's education, not some government bureaucrat. But most importantly, it is the idea that the individual must be free to pursue his or her own happiness, free from government dependence and free from government control. Because to be truly free is to be reliant on no one other than the author of our destiny. These are the ideas at the core of the Republican Party, and it is why I am a Republican. So my brothers and sisters of the American community, please join with me today in abandoning the government plantation and the party of disappointment.
You know, I was at the polls the other day, and I met a young lady, and she asked me if I was Democrat or Republican. And I let her know I was Republican. And she quickly said, well, thank you for letting me know. She said, I asked her, I said, why are you a Democrat? And she began to go down the litany of explanations. The Democrats are, the Republicans are the party of the KKK, the party of secession, the party of slavery. And I said, no, ma'am. I said, if you read your history, you will understand that that is not true. And she quickly made me aware that she had a bachelor's degree and a master's degree in history. And I said, yes, ma'am, but that's not true. And I said something that was controversial, but I won't repeat it on here. But this is what is happening. We know the truth. We're sharing the truth. There are people who are mesmerized, who believe the lie, and they will continue to believe the lie. But we will run into people who are willing to listen with an open mind and accept the truth. And once they realize that their lives could be so much better if they move away from the Democrat Party, I think that there won't be a need for lots of persuasion to get people to change, but we're not there yet, but that's okay. I'm so proud to know that there are so many people, especially in Shelby County, who are making the change. I was surprised. I received data from the state party about the number of people in this community and how they vote. And a few years ago, I couldn't find but about 15 to 20,000 Republicans. I did a search the other day on the data, and we're talking over 120 people who are both Republican and people who sometimes vote Democrat. That's a substantial difference and a great increase. People are opening their minds and they're not closed-minded. So I'm waiting and I'm fasting and praying for the results of this election, because I believe God is going to use those people to change the trajectory of where we're going, whereby we are being misled and convinced that we have to vote blue, or they have to vote blue, no matter who. It is not good enough to vote just because someone has a D or R behind their names, but at least give a person a chance. And if you see that the same person that you're voting for constantly over and over again don't care about you, do not think about you, do not work for you, don't continue to vote for them. That's just my opinion. But anyway, I'm ready to end this show. But before we end the show, I want to share with you guys. She's gotten away from me. She's gotten away from me. This is not what I wanted you guys to see. I wanted you all to see the real Kamala. Kamala. The real Kamala. Yes. Okay, this must be an ad that is running now. So I'm going to silence this, and hopefully I'm going to silence this, and there I go. I can skip it. Okay. And then I'm going to get this started. I want you guys to see the person who wants to be your president. And I noticed this demeanor when Israel's Prime Minister Netanyahu came to Washington, D.C., to the United States. And he met with Kamala. Of course, she refused to attend a congressional hearing where he spoke, but they met one-on-one. And she came out and she had this condescending attitude about her. And I want you guys to see this woman in action. Yes, this is the same woman. This is the same woman who told young men that they were at the wrong rally because they said Jesus is Lord, God is King. Okay, so I'm going to cue this one up for you. And I want you guys to see this woman in action and understand this woman gets heckled at her own rallies. There is something going on here that maybe we need to pay attention to. This woman gets heckled at her own rally. Can you believe that? Okay, my light went out. And I need all the light I can get. Here we go.
On the other hand, Donald Trump's answer to financial pressures is for you to face.
This lady's getting heckled at her own rally. Look at that grimace on her face. She's getting ready for them. Look at that mouth. That's Kamala Harris. Line that back up so we can hear it.
Democracy and your right. That is what is on the line in this election. Look, everybody has a right to be heard, but right now I am speaking.
Girl is not playing. She is not playing. That's what we could potentially be stuck with. So if you haven't voted, get off the couch. Go vote today. The polls will be open until 7 p.m. Yeah, it's raining. It wasn't raining the last 14 days. It's raining today. Okay, so you got to get a little wet, but you can find a voting location where the lines aren't long. Last night at ATOP, the lines were so long that people were lined up through the parking lot almost to the street. So in order to vote, you have to go down a long hall, and then you come, and then you exit a door, and then the long line went past the door, down the walkway, all the way down the walkway, almost to the street. If they can do it, we can do it too. So get out and vote, because if you don't get out and vote, you're going to end up with Kamala Harris. And we can't have that. We cannot have that, guys. So I'm depending on you. Anyway, thank you for joining me today. I appreciate you joining me. I'm sounding off. The next time I talk to you, I anticipate being Congressman Charlotte Bergman. God bless you all. I love you all. Have a great weekend.